My husband begged me to be a stay-at-home mom, then cheated and called me unattractive, so I made him regret it. What did you expect? Look at you. You do not even try anymore. That was what my husband said to me the night I found out he was cheating. No guilt, no remorse, just pure disdain in his voice, as if I was some washed-up, pathetic woman who had let herself go. I stared at him, numb. This was the same man who had begged me to give up my career and stay home with our child. The man who told me, "Our baby needs you more than a paycheck does." The man who convinced me to walk away from everything I had worked so hard for, my independence, my passion, my financial security, because he promised that we were a team. But now, after sacrificing everything, I was no longer good enough for him. That night, something inside me broke. I did not scream, I did not cry, but I made a silent promise to myself. I was going to make him regret every single choice he had made. And trust me, I did. I never imagined I would be writing something like this. For years, I truly believed I had a perfect marriage, a supportive husband, and a happy family. But in the span of just a few months, everything I thought I knew fell apart, and I was left questioning if any of it had ever been real. My name is Olivia. I am 32 years old, and I have been married to my husband, Daniel, for 3 years. We met 8 years ago, and from the very beginning, our relationship felt effortless. We had that rare kind of connection that people envy. Deep conversations that lasted until dawn, spontaneous weekend getaways, inside jokes that no one else understood. I had a thriving career in marketing, and Daniel was a software engineer. We were equals. We were partners. Or at least I thought we were. When we got married, nothing really changed. We still had fun. We still challenged each other. We still dreamed about the future together. Then I got pregnant. And that was when everything began to shift. When I first told Daniel I was pregnant, he was overjoyed. We had talked about having children before, and while I always imagined myself balancing motherhood with my career, Daniel started bringing up the idea of me staying home full-time. At first, it was just gentle suggestions. Wouldn't it be amazing if you did not have to deal with work stress and could just focus on the baby? Then it became more persistent. Daycare is ridiculously expensive, and honestly, no one can take care of our child better than you. And then, it turned into something else. Do you really want some stranger raising our child while you are stuck in an office all day? I resisted. I loved my job. I had worked hard to get where I was. I was not ready to give that up. But Daniel made it sound so beautiful. He painted this picture of a peaceful, stress-free life, where I would spend my days bonding with our baby, taking long walks in the park, baking cookies, and being fully present for every precious moment. I told myself it was temporary, just a couple of years. I convinced myself that Daniel was right, that this was the best decision for our family. So I quit my job, and the moment I did, it was like stepping into a trap that I had not realized was closing in around me. The first few months were hard, but I had expected that. Newborns are exhausting, and I knew the sleepless nights and endless feedings would be challenging. What I did not expect was how isolated I would feel. At first, Daniel was supportive. He came home early, he cooked dinner, he helped with our son Leo, and made me feel like we were truly in this together. But as the months passed, things started to shift. Daniel started coming home late. At first, it was just an extra hour or two, then entire evenings, then entire nights. He stopped helping, he stopped asking how I was doing, he stopped noticing me altogether. Whenever I tried to talk to him about how overwhelmed I was, he would sigh and brush it off. You have no idea how stressful my job is. I wish I could stay home all day like you. I remember staring at him, feeling like I had been slapped, because staying home was not a break. It was exhausting, never-ending, unpaid labor. But somehow, in Daniel's eyes, my work no longer mattered. And then, the little comments started. You used to dress up more. Maybe you should try getting out of the house more. Have you thought about going to the gym? I laughed them off at first. I knew I was not at my best. I barely had time to shower some days. But the comments kept coming, and slowly, they started to eat away at me. I was already feeling invisible, already questioning if I had made a mistake by giving up my career. But when I looked at Daniel, I still wanted to believe he loved me. Then one night, everything changed. It was late. I had just put Leo to bed. And when I walked into the kitchen, I saw Daniel sitting at the table, texting someone. He was smiling. A real, genuine smile. The kind I had not seen in months. Something inside me twisted. I was not the paranoid type, but in that moment I knew. So, when he went to take a shower, I did something I had never done before. I checked his phone, and that was when I found her. Amanda. A coworker. Flirty messages, inside jokes, late night I cannot stop thinking about you texts. My hands were shaking, my heart was pounding so loudly I thought I might wake the baby. I scrolled further. Photos of them together, at a bar, at a hotel. My entire world collapsed. I had given up everything, my career, my independence, my identity, for this man. And he had thrown me away like I was nothing. When Daniel came out of the shower, I was still sitting there, his phone in my hands. He froze. And then, instead of apologizing, instead of looking ashamed, he laughed, like it was some kind of joke. "What did you expect?" he said, his voice dripping with amusement. "Look at you. You do not even try anymore." In that moment, something inside me snapped. I was not going to scream. I was not going to cry. I was going to destroy him. I want to start by saying thank you to everyone who commented on my original post. I never expected so many people to care about my story. Reading your words, your anger, your advice, your encouragement made me feel less alone. I took some time to process everything. I needed to think, to plan, because if there is one thing I knew for certain, it was this. I was not going to let this man get away with it. After Daniel threw those cruel words at me, he did not seem to care about my reaction. He just walked past me, grabbed a beer from the fridge, and went to watch TV like nothing had happened. I sat there, still clutching his phone, staring at the messages on the screen. There was no mistake, no misunderstanding. He was cheating, and worse, he had no remorse. I wanted to scream, I wanted to throw the phone at his head, but I forced myself to breathe. Daniel thought I was weak, that I had no power. He had no idea what was coming. That night, after putting my son to bed, I started my first move. I transferred all of Daniel's messages, photos, and call logs to my own device. Then, I dug deeper. I went through his email, his bank statements, his credit card transactions, and that was when I found something even worse. He had been paying for Amanda's apartment. For months. While I was at home, stretching every dollar, making sacrifices, worrying about our finances, he was spending our money on her. It took everything in me not to storm into the living room and throw it in his face. But I knew that if I wanted to truly win, I had to be smart. The next morning, I started making calls. A divorce lawyer. I needed to know my rights. Since I had given up my job to be a stay-at-home mom, I was financially vulnerable. But given Daniel's infidelity and financial deception, my lawyer assured me that I had the upper hand in the divorce. Private investigator. I needed airtight proof. I wanted everything documented, his affair, his financial betrayals, his lies. I wanted a case so strong that he would not have a leg to stand on in court. My old boss. I had left my career behind for Daniel, but that did not mean I was gone forever. My former boss was surprised to hear from me, but he told me that if I wanted to come back, he would find a place for me. It would not be the same position, but it was a start. I needed to secure my future. I started moving small amounts of money into a separate account. I started keeping track of every financial asset Daniel had. I was not just planning to leave, I was planning to take everything I was owed. For the next few weeks, I acted as if nothing had changed. I still cooked dinner, I still smiled when he came home, I still played the role of the devoted wife. Daniel had no idea what I was doing behind the scenes. Meanwhile, my private investigator was gathering everything. Photos, videos, receipts, witness statements. Every time Daniel met up with Amanda, I got proof. Every time he transferred money to her, I got proof. By the time I was done, I had a folder full of evidence that would obliterate him in court. Then, one night, Daniel came home late. Again, I could smell perfume on his shirt. He did not even bother hiding it anymore. He walked past me and muttered, "Are you seriously still up? You should get some sleep, you look exhausted." That was it. I knew it was time. The next morning, while he was at work, I took my son and left. I did not just pack a bag, I packed everything that was mine and my son's. I went to stay with my sister. She had been furious when I told her the truth, and she welcomed us with open arms. Then I made the final move. I called Daniel's boss, and I sent him everything. The affair, the financial misconduct, the fact that Daniel had been using company resources to fund his personal expenses. And just like that, Daniel lost his job. I filed for divorce the very next day. Daniel did not take it well. At first, he tried to act like nothing had changed. He called me, pretending to be confused. "Why did you leave? What is going on?" Then, when I did not respond, he turned angry. "You are overreacting. You cannot do this to me." And then came the begging. "Please, Olivia, we can fix this. I made a mistake." But it was too late. I had all the evidence. I had legal backing. Daniel was going to lose everything. I am still in the middle of the divorce, but things are going in my favor. My lawyer says I will get full custody of my son. Given Daniel's infidelity and financial misconduct, I am entitled to spousal support and a significant share of assets. As for Daniel, he is jobless, he is miserable, and from what I heard, Amanda left him the second she realized he had nothing left to offer. I am not going to lie, this has been the hardest thing I have ever done. But for the first time in a long time, I feel like myself again. I got a job offer. I am rebuilding my career. I am focusing on my son, and I know now that I am so much stronger than I ever thought. To anyone reading this who might be in a similar situation, do not let them break you. Because in the end, success is the best revenge. I never expected my story to blow up like it did. When I first shared what happened, I was lost, heartbroken, and trying to find my way through a nightmare I never saw coming. The support, advice, and even the righteous rage from so many of you have been overwhelming in the best way possible. A lot has happened since my last update. Daniel is spiraling, I am thriving, and every day I wake up with a little less weight on my shoulders. When Daniel realized I had truly left, that I was serious about the divorce, he panicked. At first, he acted like nothing was wrong. He called me, acting confused and wounded. "Babe, why are you being like this? We can work through this." Then, when I did not respond, he switched tactics. "You are making a huge mistake. You cannot take my son away from me." And then came the anger. "You are ruining my life, Olivia. Do you even realize what you have done?" Oh, I knew. And I had zero regrets. Daniel was officially unemployed. His company did not take kindly to employees using corporate resources to finance their personal affairs. The moment his boss saw the receipts, Daniel was fired on the spot. Amanda, the other woman, was nowhere to be found. She blocked him on everything. Turns out she was perfectly happy being the fun, exciting side piece, but a jobless, messy, financially unstable man? Yeah, not exactly a catch. And now Daniel was left with nothing. No job, no mistress, no wife to take care of him. Meanwhile, I was building my life back up. For the first time in years, I felt like myself again. I got my old job back. Well, sort of. My former boss was incredibly understanding and offered me a position at the company. It was not the same role I had before, but it was a stepping stone. I was back in the workforce, back in an office, back to feeling like I had a purpose beyond just being Daniel's discarded housewife. And you know what? I was damn good at my job. I threw myself into work, into rebuilding my career. Every email I sent, every project I worked on felt like reclaiming a piece of myself that I had lost. At home, things were finally peaceful. I had my own apartment, a routine, a sense of stability. Leo was adjusting well. I was worried the separation might be hard on him, but honestly, he seemed happier too. No more tension, no more fighting, no more waiting around for a father who barely paid attention. We were better off without him. I wish I could tell you that Daniel accepted his losses and moved on. But of course he didn't. Men like him? They do not know how to handle consequences. They do not know how to sit with the reality that they destroyed their own lives. So, he started begging. I woke up one morning to a dozen missed calls. Then came the texts. "I miss you. I know I messed up. I will do anything to fix this. Please, Olivia, do not do this to our family." It was laughable. The same man who had sneered at me, who had humiliated me, who had treated me like I was worthless, was now desperate to have me back. I ignored him. Then, he tried another tactic. Guilt. "Leo needs his father. Do you really want to raise him in a broken home?" As if I was the one who broke our family apart. As if I was the one who stepped outside of our marriage. As if I owed him forgiveness, just because he was finally facing the consequences of his own betrayal. I responded exactly once. "This home is not broken. It is just no longer a place for liars and cheaters. Enjoy your freedom, Daniel. It is what you wanted, right? Blocked. Daniel tried to fight me on the divorce. He thought he could manipulate me into taking a deal that favored him. He forgot who he was dealing with. My lawyer was ruthless. The evidence of his affair, used against him. His financial betrayal, used against him. His unemployment and instability, used against him. In the end, I won. I got primary custody of Leo. I got a solid financial settlement. And Daniel, he got exactly what he deserved. No money, no wife, and court-ordered child support payments that he was now struggling to afford. The day the divorce was finalized, I felt free. I walked out of that courthouse, took a deep breath, and realized I was no longer tied to a man who never deserved me in the first place. And you know what the best part is? I am happy. I wake up every morning with a sense of peace. I go to work and feel fulfilled. I spend time with my son and feel grateful. And Daniel, he is still struggling. He still tries to get my attention sometimes. A random email here, a message through a friend there. But I have nothing left to say to him. He wanted his freedom. And now he has exactly that. I spent years thinking that love meant sacrifice. That being a good wife meant putting my husband's needs before my own. That if I just tried harder, things would get better. But here is what I learned. A relationship should never require you to give up who you are. If someone does not appreciate you at your lowest, they do not deserve you at your best. The best revenge is moving on and living a life they can never be a part of. To every woman reading this, do not let them break you. You are stronger than you think, and trust me, happiness is the best revenge. The end? Or maybe just the beginning. Thank you all for following my story. I am in a good place now, but I am always happy to answer questions or give updates. And to anyone who is going through something similar, you deserve better. Do not settle.